What's poppin', guys? What's poppin'? Welcome back to my channel. Rare One here. I hope we're all good, looking after ourselves. Thank you so much for the support, guys. Like my videos, please. It helps with the algorithm. Share, comment below if you're new so I can welcome you to the channel, and select the all options on the notification bell. Thank you. On today's video, I'll dive straight into it. It's a part 2 to the first part on communication, and in that video I highlighted that I will be going into the understanding of words and the power that words carry. Before I start, remember 3 things. Reason is immortal, all else mortal. There's nothing that subdues or surpasses the power and ability to reason things through, look at things that you do, your actions, your conducts, your plans, visions, aspirations, everything. Look at them through the lenses of reason. It helps you go a long way. I have never seen it fail anyone, you know. Secondly, how you arrive is the price you are. Bear that in mind. Reputation is not a given. You have to purposely engage in creating and maintaining good reputation for yourself. And lastly, once you open your mouth, you announce to the world who you are. Let that sink for a second. Once you open your mouth, you announce who you are to the world. And with that takes us into the power of words as a verbal form of communication, as something that we use when verbally communicating with people and our surrounding. Right? We pronounce our messages through words. Words can translate intention, purpose, and most of all, words help construct or maintain reputation, the reputation of its speaker. Words are powerful. Words have the unique power to quickly take root in people's hearts and minds, and that is why when wielded by the wrong persons, it can be a dangerous thing. There's a biblical quote even as further supports this that reads, kind words are like honey, sweet to the soul and healthy for the body. But those are kind words. I know that there are instances when life or things that challenge us kind of inspire negative words. It doesn't always have to be the sweet words. Practically speaking, we don't always say the good things in life. But the key to all of this is understanding the power of words as a way to communicate verbally, as something that we use when verbally communicating with people, mastering the use of words and the power that it carries. Therefore, knowing how to wield it properly and convey the message intentionally, purposefully at any given time. Lives can be changed forever with as little as a single phrase or an uplifting statement. There's this constant rant of positive vibe, positive energy, positive this and that in this day and age. Everybody wants to hear things that are so sweet that we all hold hands and sing kumbaya like type of things. It doesn't always work that way, but the point I'm trying to make is words can change lives. Uplifting words can encourage and enthuse people to do good, great things. Negative words can withdraw life. Historically, the words of men have shown to be an axe that can inspire liberation. Example, the likes of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., whose I Have a Dream speech became one of the most iconic speeches in the civil rights movement, and today still lives in the hearts of all of us, or majority of us. And you look on the other spectrum, it's also shown to impact the words of tyrant oppressors, the likes of Adolf Hitler, have shown to impact the ways of men, influence men to commit to atrocious acts that are biased, debased, and demented. The sort of visions that are demented. The wrong men who lack probity, men who lack principle and ethics, men who are confused and misguided, wielding the words that can lead a multitude of other men to atrocious acts, I don't know if I can say this on YouTube, but to atrocious act. Let me leave it there. Understanding the power of words. Words are swords. Words are currencies. Your words are currency. Learn to spend them wisely. Words can cause devastating and unrecoverable impacts. Words can build and words can tear down. Words by a man of probity can birth immeasurable dividends in the minds, body, and souls of your audience. Words are very important, powerful things. Remember that, gentlemen. Words, words, words. As you verbally communicate, and the fact that you can actually speak and pronounce words does not make you an effective communicator. It does not mean you're a master of words. You might have read a couple words and therefore your use of vocabularies is rich. Still, you might not be able to communicate effectively because you're not using your words right. However, when we fail to understand the need to communicate with our words appropriately, accordingly, rightly, it tends to cause men to suffer, human beings at large. When men lack the understanding of the power their words can carry, therefore not communicating with their words effectively, it causes us to suffer. And that suffering translates to burying us in unnecessary silence. The kind of silence that causes us to self-delete. Men are 3 times most likely to self-delete than women. Why is that? Men struggle in silence. The silence, that lack of effective communication skills by using our words effectively, drowns our thoughts and visions eternally. Some of us are just coasting through life. We will never be witnessed nor experienced by the people around us, by our community nor surroundings, because we are dead before the eyes of our loved ones. For failure to communicate, for lack of communication, we are walking dead. Many men are walking dead. You're drowned. Your visions and thoughts are drowned. Your purpose is drowned. They're just coasting and counting time, counting down to the day that they will drop in the graves. They've even created imaginary graves for themselves. These are the things that when we don't communicate effectively, we risk throwing ourselves into this type of silence. The silence that drowns our thoughts, visions, and purpose in life. The silence that drowns us. The silence that consumes and destroys us. The silence that causes men to self-delete. The silence that berates men, that demeans us. The silence that allows and supports oppression around us. The silence that allows evil to thrive around us. They say that the only thing necessary for evil to thrive is that good men keep silent. The silence that affects our relationship with our children. The silence that affects our relationship with our wives or girlfriends, our fathers and mothers, our siblings, our cousins, nephews and nieces, name it, friends, professional networks and colleagues alike. The kind of silence that causes us dearly. The silence that isolates us from right and accessible help in our daily combat with mental health in society. The type of silence that sentences multitude of men to unwarranted guilt, shame, and failure. The silence that whispers in your head, yet it drowns you. It gags you from coughing the words that echo help. Yet it whispers to you that you are a failure, that you're no good, no use, that you should be ashamed of yourself, that you dare not speak up and access help, otherwise you're weak. That sort of silence. That's why I am recording this video. It ought not to be so. Communication is key to our very essence as human beings, as men, as leaders, as people who ought to have clarity, people who want to and who desire to commandeer respect, people who lead from the front, people who are looked up to in society, people who are revered in society. We have to be effective communicators. It helps you. It combats the silence that attacks us. Because guess what? The world ain't coming to save us anytime soon. And I am not about to tell you that you are a victim, because you are your responsibility. You owe it to yourself. You owe yourself the privilege, the opportunity, that chance to be you, to be alive, not for the sake of coexistence, but to be here and fully here, to serve your purpose in life, full term, to be the man that would have come and lived, and when you're gone, you will be remembered like the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s. I have a dream. That's the kind of men I am saying and recording this video for. If you've been going through dark times, situations, circumstances, I know there are many things that could have cost you, that could have stifled you, that could have gagged you, that could have shut your mouth, that could have hindered and oppressed you, that could have caused you not to learn to communicate well, self-doubt and bullying, a lot of things you might have gone through in life. But I'm telling you right now, it will not matter in the end, because nobody will remember you as the bullied. You ought to be remembered as the guy who rose on your 2 feet and you stood up for what you believed in life and you went out for it wholeheartedly. When you fell gracefully, and you rise stronger and you move. Guess what? We all go through dark times. I'm not gonna tell you that, oh, you're going through it, it means nothing. No, I'm not a psychologist, but I'm here to tell you that you deserve to allow you live. You deserve to allow you experience the dark and the good times, and learn that that's part of the journey of life. When you come through it, you would have learned a lot of things. That's what makes the people whom we look at as legendary, that's what makes them different. They see each situation as an opportunity to be better, to go one step higher, to be one more move ahead. We ought not to suffer the problems, the difficulties, the things that are associated with lack of communication by not understanding what our words can do for us. By keeping our mouths shut and dying in silence, dying without help when there is help all over and all around us. When there's help even from within us, it starts from within you. How dare you condemn yourself to things that mean nothing, that can easily be forgotten? You owe it to yourself. You are your responsibility, and you must learn to communicate. Not just when you're in dark places. You must learn to communicate with people. It helps and supports your connection with human beings, with people around you, with your environment, with things around you. You interact with things through communication. Through communication, you expand your network. Your personal and career opportunities are further enhanced and have the potential to grow and grow beyond limits. Communication helps go a long way. You cannot do it all and just sitting in silence. Nobody reads minds. And guess what? Even if they can, it's not their place. It's nobody's place to read your mind, to understand or learn the things that you feel are not being given to you, for one, because there are different perspectives to this then. If you're going through tough times, you got to tell somebody. You got to share. Problem shared is half solved, they say. Come on, my G. If you're in a relationship with somebody, you got to tell them, I don't like this, I don't like that. I like this, I like that. Okay, is it possible that we could do this? Come to a reasonable compromise. You gotta say it. Society expects us to lead. As leaders, we are exemplary figures. And as people who lead, people follow clarity, not confusion. You can't allow your voice to be silenced by oppression, silenced by things happening in society in this era of censorship. You can't allow that. The only thing necessary for evil to succeed is that good men keep silent. We cannot keep silent. We cannot keep silent. We have to communicate and use our words. Let our words work for us. Words are vessels. Let us send them out to go and give birth to the things that we wish to establish here on earth while we're here. So when we are gone, we will be remembered. Understanding that we are responsible for ourselves. Leading from a place of clarity. Understanding that effective communication ensures we operate from a position of strength. Understand that it maintains our masculinity through clarity of purpose, vision, and mission, because people follow whom they understand. Understanding that effective communication helps us thrive among networks of people. It supports human connection. Therefore, it impacts our personal and career goals, dreams, visions, and aspirations. Not just vomiting few or regular number of convoluted words. Communicating effectively. Learn to use your words. Understand that words have power. The power of life and death, they say, is in the tongue. But what does the tongue send forth to birth life? Words. In the beginning, there was, let there be light, and there was light. The power to create and terminate is in what comes forth from your tongue, your words. Verbally communicating effectively with words and the knowledge and mastery of the power of your words that you send intentionally and purposefully is heavy. That's a heavy arsenal. You don't want to stand in the way of that. You don't want to stand in the way of that. So you have to make the effort to learn to communicate. I have highlighted the power of words, the things that we can suffer as a result of not understanding how to communicate well with our words, the benefits of communicating with our words. How do you learn to communicate? You study. You study by reading. You study people around you. You study great orators. You study what they do right, what they did wrong, how their journey have evolved, how they've grown to be these great orators. I listen to T.D. Jakes, sometimes for his preaching, or sometimes for his speaking skills. I find that he's a great orator. I'm not a big fan of Barack Obama, but Obama is a great orator. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a great orator. You watch historically the likes of Genghis Khan, of the Kublai Khan of the Mongol Empire. That was a man who led the conquering of cities around him. He was a great orator. People who lead, great leaders, are often people that communicate very well and clearly. Whether they are spending few words or many words, they are sending those words with precision. In marketing, everything you get pumped and sold, from the adverts to what you read and see or hear, they're all targeted at you. They communicate in something. They communicate into your brain, to your eyes, to your mind, to your heart. They know what's appealing to every part of your entire being as a human being. The color coding, the color schemes they choose in the adverts, on the packaging of products. These things are all educated choices. The power of communication. We never stop communicating any day or second of our lives. Even when you're sleeping, your body's still interacting with itself. So why can't you learn to use the time in the period, the window that we have during the day where we are awake and active? Why don't you learn to communicate so that when you are actually communicating within those times, you're being effective at what you're doing? If you're a father, you're being clear. You're leading the home. You cannot lead without being a good communicator. And that's another problem that we have in relationships today. However, you can learn to communicate. Nobody is born with a fixed quantity of any particular skill. I used that in the video on intelligence. If you haven't seen that, go check it out, where I said that nobody is born with a fixed quantity of intelligence. It applies to many essential skills in life. Nobody was born with a fixed measure of communication skills. Some people have communication problems, right? Maybe speech problems or stuff like that. That's not what I'm talking about. If you speak even if you have a speech problem, then use access speech therapists, right? However you communicate, make sure you communicate effectively, is what I'm saying. You are not born and confined to speak in scattered, unclear forms. If you remain that way, it's your choice. You can unlearn that habit. Read. Observe people around you. Observe yourself. When you speak to people, does it appear as though your messages are clear to them? Do you get your desired response? If not, how can you improve? Even invite criticisms directly from the people that you speak to, at least friends who you know would give you constructive feedbacks on you, Invite these things, use them and run with it. You can learn to communicate effectively is the point. Once you have started engaging with the process of learning to communicate effectively, remember one thing. Don't get excited if you're one for vocabularies to get thrown into, just vomiting convoluted words. It doesn't work. And sometimes less is not enough. You have to know your audience. Engage with your audience. What works for them. Mindful that people interpret things in different ways. Not everybody's like me or you. Construct your messages accordingly, appropriately. Send them through the correct ways. Send them with the right tone. Send them well. When you send them, listen. Now, I have thought about this. I have constructed this video. I'm sending this right now to you. As you watch, I will be listening for your response in the comment section. Please comment below. Let me know if you find this helpful. Male, female, young or old. Let me know if you find this helpful. I shall be listening so I can take that on board going forward. That's the full cycle. And I have communicated. I hope you've enjoyed this so far, right? So, just to wrap up, I need you to understand one thing. Communication is something you can learn. It is something that you learn just like, eating, learning to use your mouth, spoon, learning to eat, learning to run, learning to lift weights if you're one for gym, learning to do things just like every regular thing that you learned to do in life. That's how you can learn to communicate, according to Brian Tracy. And by learning to communicate, observing, and continual practice, you can grow to be very good at communication. Understand that words carry power. When commanded in a befitting manner, your words can make your messages infinite, unlimited, or finite, limited. Infinite, the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, still lives in our hearts today. Finite, the words of the likes of Adolf Hitler is today abhorred amongst men. It's dead. I hope it's dead. But I strongly believe it's dead. Stupidity hardly lasts long. It often dies. But words can be infinite. Communicate effectively. Make sure your words leave lasting effects in the hearts and minds of people in a positive way. It doesn't always have to sound as sweet as honey, but at least make sure that you are the master in charge of those words that you utter, right? And with that being said, I am simply asking that you understand what you wish to convey at any given time. Be intentional about it. Know that words are vessels that can birth life, change, and have the power to ignite destruction. So, learn that every communication, every act of communication is a miracle of interpretation. Ken Liu. I say that again. Every act of communication is a miracle of interpretation. Remember, reason is immortal, all else mortal. And once you open your mouth, you announce yourself to the world. Reputation is not a given. You have to purposely engage in building and maintaining it for yourself. Look after yourselves. Show some love. Like, share, comment, subscribe, select the all option on the notification bell, and please go follow my Instagram and TikTok accounts. All you can see as this video has been playing down there. Thank you all so much. Until the next one, stay rare.